Hey everybody, welcome back to The Way of Ramen. I hope everybody's hanging in there with what's going on in the world right now. Today's video is just a fun one. Before things got really crazy with the virus, I did an experiment to see how close I could get canned bamboo shoots to taste like real menma. I found a recipe for this fermented menma on Cookpad and thought I'd give it a try. Menma is by far my favorite topping for ramen, and unfortunately nobody around me sells it, so I've always had to get by without the real stuff. Real menma is made by lacto-fermenting bamboo shoots, and this recipe called for lacto-fermentation. However, after I started, I realized that the author of the recipe probably didn't really understand what lacto-fermentation was, and this is probably more like a shiozuke or salted pickled menma technique, but I decided to go through with it anyway, and the results are pretty interesting, so yeah, let's get right into it. So once again, I'm using canned bamboo shoots here just because I know it's the easiest thing for everybody to find. I sliced up about 200 grams of the bamboo shoots and then rubbed in 5 tablespoons of some Hawaiian salt. I think you can use any kind of salt that doesn't have iodine in it. Then I got it all into a Ziploc bag and let it sit at room temperature for 3 days. After 3 days, I drove down to my parents' house to use their food dehydrator since I don't own one, and I got all the bamboo shoots lined up on the drying racks. The recipe says to dry them until they look and feel kind of like dried mangoes, or about 2 to 3 hours of drying, but mine did not get dry that quickly, so I ended up leaving my parents' house and bringing my bamboo shoots with me and borrowing another food dehydrator and finishing them at home. In total, it took around 10 hours of drying. After they were dried, I got some water boiling and then I dumped in all of the dried bamboo shoots to rehydrate them. I boiled them for about 20 minutes. The recipe said to do 15 to 30 minutes or until they're fully hydrated. Then you're just going to let them soak in cold water for 3 to 6 hours depending on how long it takes them to get not so salty anymore. I decided to make 2 batches of menma, one batch with the bamboo shoots I had processed and one batch straight from the can. And at this point, I thought the one that I did everything to tasted a little bit better, at least to me. For flavoring, I sauteed the bamboo shoots in 1 tablespoon of sesame oil for a few minutes. Then I added a mixture of 100 milliliters of water, 1 tablespoon of honsuyu, 1 teaspoon of chicken stock powder, 1 teaspoon of sake, and half a teaspoon of sugar. Then I cooked it all down until all the liquid evaporated. And after 5 days, my menma was finally done. So like I said, I made a control batch too with bamboo shoots straight from the can, using the same seasonings so I could compare the taste and the texture. At this point, I'd pretty much written off the whole experiment as a waste of a week and expected both batches to taste pretty much the same, but I was pretty surprised to find the batch that I had spent a lot of time on actually did taste much better. There wasn't too much of a difference in terms of texture, but the pickling seemed to somehow have removed a lot of the off-putting taste from the can. I even made my wife do a blind taste test and she agreed that the one that I spent a lot of time processing tasted much better. So I'm not sure it was worth 4 days of work, but if you have some experience with lacto-fermentation, give it a try and see if you can get some better results. Like I said, this was more of a shiozuke style pickle, not a true lacto-fermentation, so I'm curious what an actual lacto-fermentation can do. Anyways, thank you guys all so much for watching. I hope you're all safe and well. If you're bored during the lockdown, feel free to join our ramen Discord server. There's a lot of people in there talking about making ramen at almost pretty much any hour, and a lot of cool tips and techniques are being shared there. A link to the server will be in the description below, and I'll see you all in the next video. Stay safe. Peace. Oh man.